Welcome to Corporate Finance Television. My name's Neil Ackroyd, and today we're at the British Venture Capital Association Management Team Awards talking to Mike Norfield of Team Telecom. Now, Team Telecom were an award winner at the BVCA Awards this year. Mike, do you want to tell me a little bit about Team Telecom and what you do as a business?
Yeah, sure. Team Telecom is a group of specialist telecommunication companies, started in the UK, but we've rapidly grown around the world. And we now have offices across Australia, China, Taiwan, and now into America. And we have three streams to our business. The first is in the aviation sector, where we provide telecommunication services and products into the aviation industry. The second stream of our business is a business called Simoco, which is a manufacturer of radio communications equipment in the PMR sector. And our third business is called Indigo Telecom Group, and Indigo Telecom Group is in the fixed line market, where we provide support services to the network operators like BT, the likes of Vodafone, and everything everywhere. So they're the three streams of our business.
Right, super. And how was it that you came to a position where you were looking for private equity and looking to do a buyout?
Well, we were actually part of a public company called Spice, and we were one of 7 divisions within Spice that actually was not really core to their business. And it got to our stage in life where we felt we needed to internationalise our business more out of the UK, to get some more investment into our business specifically to grow, and to do that we felt that we needed to actually go on our own journey that was actually core to us and not core to the actual public business. So we approached the board of the public company to see if we could actually buy our business out and go our own way.
Right, and what was the board's initial reaction to that?
Well, I think initially their reaction was they wanted to keep us as a business because we were very profitable, and they saw us as a good avenue to grow. But they also understood that actually they, being a utilities business, recognised that it was not core and that they could be restrictive in terms of what we as a management team wanted to achieve. And so it was a kind of a mutual thing. Also, it was around the time in the economy where they needed to be pretty sort of concerned about where they were investing their money, and this was an opportunity for them to realise some sort of investment upside, but also for us to then sort of go out and go it alone.
Right, okay, so do you want to talk a little bit for a second about the process that you ran in terms of raising that private equity funding to do the management buyout?
Yeah, well, early on, and I say early on, we'd been approached by a number of people that could see that our business was probably not core to Spice, and we'd actually had some approaches, and actually Gresham, who was our private equity firm, they actually approached us quite a long time before we'd actually even sort of gone out there on our own to consider our options. But when we did decide that we were going to move down that avenue, we just took it upon ourselves. Peter and I had come from a private equity firm beforehand. We both worked for Fidelity Investments back in the early 90s, and so it was always our goal to go out to the private equity market and see if we could raise the necessary finance, and that's exactly what we did. We got the permission of the board to go out and see if we could raise the money.
Right, okay, so you considered a number of private equity firms. What made you land on Gresham particularly?
Well, I think at the time we was right in the middle of the recession. So, going to raise the money we did, at that point in time was going to be tough anyway. So for us it was a good opportunity to see if we could actually test our plans in terms of, going through a process like an MBO, they really get underneath the covers. And so if you thought you had a good business plan, the time to test it is to go into a DD process. So we went out to a wide sort of range of private equity partners, from the sort of mid-tier to touching into the high tier, to see if we could get any interest. So we actually got a number of interested parties that wanted to take it to the discussions to the next stage.
Right, and what were the differentiating factors for Gresham, who you did choose to do the deal?
Well, I think when we shortlisted down to a few, we were faced with sort of PE firms of round about the same size, a couple sort of bigger than Gresham. But the key defining factor for us was it was important as a management team that we needed to have a good team that we could work with on the other side. So as we'd been through the process, a couple of the PE firms that were shortlisted, we worked very close with through that sort of DD process, the initial DD process. And as you get to work with them, you get to know them, and you get a general feel as, can you work with these people? And I think the advice of any management team I would give is just make sure you realise who's going to be working with you going forward, who's going to be sitting on your board, and spend a lot of time working with them, because they're going to become your partners. So, and I guess that's really what swayed it with Gresham, because we started to build a good relationship with them, an understanding of what we wanted to achieve, what they wanted to achieve, and get that warm feeling that they would actually help us support our growth plans.
Super. And how has that worked out in terms of that support? I know that you've done a couple of acquisitions since you were bought out. How's that support materialised?
Well, Gresham have been very supportive on our international growth, and one of the big areas of growth for us was always going to be international. So we wanted to have a PE firm that really could, allow us to grow internationally and not be frightened to take that step into what a lot of people see as the unknown. So, that was one of the things where we saw them very keen to help us and support us. And since we've done the acquisitions, they've actually been very supportive in helping us with market research, open doors, supportive of our strategic plan. So all in all, it's worked out very well, and you get that feel from them when you're working with them early on.
So Mike, everybody's pouring out of the hall now to kind of interrupt us, but just looking at the award that you've won, or the regional award that you've won, do you want to talk a little bit about that for a second?
Well, I think what was important for us when we actually completed our buyout was that you want to raise your profile a little bit in the sort of the investment markets and just generally. And when we actually completed our first year, we had some really good results. We thought it was just a good opportunity at that point, and we just rebranded the group and relaunched it our first year in, that we wanted to go out there and see if we could actually put ourselves forward for winning some of these awards. And actually winning this award for us was a real testimony to the work and the progress that we'd achieved over that period of a year, and really sort of testimony to the strength of the management team, because this really was for us the key award for the management team, because it was the management team that has got us to where we are today, against all the odds, against the tough markets we operate and work in. It's the strength of the management team that's got us there. So it's a good recognition for the business, but it's also a great recognition for the management team, that they actually get recognised is not just because we've won the best product of the year, but actually we've won the award because we've got a great management team. So for us it was a great achievement to win the award.
Okay, so just kind of wrapping up, Mike, a lot of the people watching this video will be people who are in a situation that you were in a couple of years ago, where they're looking to make their first leap into being backed by private equity. What advice would you have for those people looking to make that step?
Well, I think first and foremost is just be absolutely 100% confident in your plan. You've got to make sure that what you're going to achieve, you're going to put your whole life on hold for a long period of time. Okay, we took a sort of a company out of a public company, so and this was an international business. So this meant that going through the process, it wasn't just buying one company out. We bought a group of companies, and I think people underestimate the amount of time that it takes and the distraction it takes from the business. So advice to anyone doing it is, A, make sure you've got a great plan, because that's going to be scrutinised. B, make sure you've got your heart and soul in it, because that's tested as well throughout the whole process. Your sanity is tested in terms of the amount of effort that's got to be put in, and also make sure you can do it and it's not too much of a distraction to the actual business itself, because you'll be surprised, our process from end to end took a good 6 months to complete, and that was 6 months of working 24/7. And so my advice to anyone with a family, tell them you're going away for 6 months, okay, and whatever day you're there will be a nice surprise for them.
So Mike, thanks very much for your time, and I look forward to maybe speaking to you after you've completed your next deal.
Yeah, great.
Cheers, Mike.
Cheers.